Neil Nelkin is often called the godfather of Omaha broadcasting, a title fit for a legend whose sacrifice and dedication to this medium we call radio made our voice collectively stronger in the heartland.
He's just an ambassador. He embodies what I think real communication via the radio is about.
The definition of a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, in sports, right, and it works the same way, is you can't tell the story of this sport without him.
Good call.
Or her.
Good call.
You can't tell the story of Nebraska radio, or radio in general, without Neil Nelkin.
Correct.
Well, a funny little story when I first met Neil. It was the first week on the job, and I was driving down Dodge Street going to lunch, and my cell phone rings. And they said, you need to come back. We have a naked man in our conference room. And so I turned around and I came back, and there's Neil holding on to the door with this naked man locked in. He was actually in the break room, holding it in, keeping the guy in there until the police arrived.
He taught me a lot about how to do broadcasting in general. And anybody who knows Neil, he taught me that you can use the F word as a noun, a verb, an adjective, a pronoun, subject, person, place, thing. I mean, those are things you need as you go along in life, and Neil taught me that too.
It is pretty funny to think about how composed we are being sharing these memories of Neil, where Neil is literally one of the most, he says the most out-of-pocket bleep that you could imagine all day in, day out. And that's part of the fun with working with him, I would say, is that you never know what
The
you're
random
gonna
comments
get.
as he's walking down the hallway.
Yes. He's the best.
Everybody's going to have something etched on their tombstone about what they did at the office. In Neil's case, it's, I worked every day to ensure that the folks who came after me understood its importance.
Always had a smile on his face. I talk like he's dead. He's not dead. I assume he still smiles a lot. Neil.
He oozes radio. He really does. And I think the history of Nebraska radio broadcasting would be vastly different without the Neil Nelkins in the world.
He's got a can-do spirit and is always there to say, yeah, we can get it done. And that's exactly what we're all in this business about. So let me, on behalf of NRG Media and all broadcasters, congratulate Neil for a job well done.
Neil would spend the next 40 years building a broadcasting legacy right here in Nebraska.
Your hard work and dedication to broadcasting were obvious to everyone who came into contact with you, and this honor is well deserved. Congratulations again on becoming a member of the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame.
You kind of look at your career in sections. The Nelkin section in mine was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun.
As a listener to radio, I trust him to focus on real issues that matter. And as a politician, I trust him to be fair with me in interviews. And I can't think of anyone more deserving of this honor. And I consider myself extremely lucky to have a friendship with Neil and to have been influenced by his work. Congratulations, Neil.
From KLN to what's now NRG Media, he was instrumental in the creation and launch of an all-sports station on KOZN.
Look, Neil engineered from the ground up the College World Series broadcasts that were distributed on a national level. We produced those. We engineered those. We put those together here in Omaha. Neil drove that. He's taught all of us so many different things. And, you know, if the next generation has a Neil Nelkin to lead the kids that I was to that next level, I hope that person exists, because everybody needs a Neil Nelkin.
If you look at all the young talent that Neil coached and nurtured and groomed, you don't have to look very far to see his fingerprints on this industry.
Him and I have the opportunity to speak like every Monday about his weekend, the weekend that he spends with his grandkids, which I know are like super incredibly important to him. Or it's me showing him how to stay quote unquote hip with it. Neil has an extensive vocabulary now on things and verbiage that millennials or Gen Z might use. I remember when I showed him Cardi B's WAP for the first time, you couldn't get him to turn the song off.
Yeah, I've never met anyone that loves radio like Neil Nelkin loves radio. And to that, it was also how much he loves Nebraska radio, because I know he could have gone a lot of different places too if he wanted it.
I just keep thinking about him watching WAP. I
would say his claim to fame probably would be he was the first and only warble whistler that I have ever met in radio or anywhere. And I don't know if you know what a warble whistler is. I'll try to do it. He has an amazing, ask him, after this, ask him to warble whistle for you. He will do a warble whistle like none other, and it used to drive me absolutely nuts. But he was good at it, so what can I say?
Do we just want to say congratulations, Neil?
And say congratulations, Neil.
I know, but I didn't know if we were going to, like,
do hands.
Congratulations to the godfather of radio, Neil Nelkin.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Yep. It's Neil Nelkin, voice of God. That's what it'll always be.
Yeah.
You hear his voice, you're like, oh, God?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
That and the fact that he not only knows where the bodies are buried,
He
he's probably buried a few.
He buried a few, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Retirement isn't in Neil's vocabulary. He continues his mornings on Boomer, advises the folks at NRG, holds steadfast on his mission to preserve Nebraska's rich media history, and he still finds time to spend with his grandchildren.
With 40 years in the business, I'm still a rookie compared to Neil. Well done, Mr. Nelkin. Well done.
Yeah, he's truly amazing.
Congratulations, Uncle Neil. An honor well deserved. You keep booming, my friend.
Congratulations, Neil. It's so great to hear that you're in the Hall of Fame, but not the Hall of Shame.
He's had a definite impact on the landscape broadcasting in Nebraska. Open to the community-minded. Just a great friend to have all the way around.
You know, we've got 7, 8, 9, 10 million people paying tribute to Neil tonight. And Neil, you know I love you.
Welcome Neil Nelkin to the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame, Class of 2022.
The very definition of a Hall of Famer in my mind, and the fact that he's going in now, I'm happy, and it's long overdue.
There's an awful lot of opportunity out there, totally blank slate, wide open horizons, and it's a real exciting time to be in the media.
Congratulations to the godfather of radio, Neil Nelkin.
Yeah!